In the early 80s, Father Bill McCarthy and other interfaith leaders started to see people not just coming to their churches or their different doorways and saying, I need help with food or clothing or the utilities, but people started to come in, families and individuals coming to the doorsteps of a lot of our faith community churches and stuff, and said, I don't have a place to sleep tonight. And Father Bill McCarthy and other interfaith leaders started to open up their churches, their basements, their schools, and provided a temporary place to stay. And our founders always felt like this would be a very temporary response. And sad to say, 30 years later, not just in Quincy, but across the country, everybody is struggling and seeing more homeless people without a home in our communities. And Father Bill McCarthy, when I met him, I had the opportunity to work side by side with him before he passed away. And what I realized was he was the people's priest. He definitely would help anybody that ever came up to him. And he really, when I first became the executive director in 1999 of Father Bill's place, I kind of said to him, I said, what is my job? What is my job description? And Father Bill said, work on taking the sign down from the shelter. And what he meant there was it's time to end homelessness. And it was all about housing for Father Bill. And I just was amazed with his charisma, his commitment, where he would take on projects. An example was there was a teen shelter in the South Shore. It was the only teen shelter in this region, and it was going to be the organization that ran it was not bankable at the time, and the owner was going to sell the property. And they called us and said, would you save the shelter? And within a week, Father Bill pulled together enough money to put a down payment and save the property. And those are the things that really stood out to me for Father Bill is that he always made sure that nobody was going to sleep outside. Father Bill set the tone for our mission to say we don't judge people, and I think when we face a lot of criticism, when we face a lot of people that struggle with our mission, what Father Bill taught me, and I hope taught our organization, is that if there's a family in America where a family member hasn't struggled maybe with an addiction, with a mental health issue, with a gambling issue, with domestic violence, a physical disability, a loss of job, and maybe if you haven't needed help from an organization like Father Bill's, then you're the luckiest family in the world, because we know that it touches a lot of people. So Father Bill always said to me, if you're going to join our mission and lead our mission, be prepared to be criticized. But we always know every day, and the reason I've been here for over 20 years is because we see people every day. If it's our families and our kids or the individuals that are using our services, we see people every day moving on and going home. And that's our goal, is to end homelessness.